Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Discord studio. Today on StreamerGenics for our fourth episode, we have none other than SSG Santa, formerly known as Dark Lord Santa. How you doing, sir? Welcome into the show, man. How are you?
Yeah, brother. Thank you so much for having me on here today. I am doing absolutely phenomenal. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Really appreciate you coming on the program. I think you'll be a very great addition to the show when it comes to getting the insight from you, seeing as you've been in this game for quite a long time. You've been on the ups and downs, riding the wave, being on the seafloor like the rest of us and things like that. So we could definitely get some insight from you when it comes to being a streamer. What's it like to be a streamer? What's it like to do what you do? The things that you have done in your past to get you where you are now. So I want to start off basically tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you begin to think to yourself, man, I could probably do this. I could probably be a streamer, and then how'd you go from there?
All right. So my story as a streamer was accidental.
Accidental.
So back when Mixer was around, I accidentally went live. I didn't know what it was. Like I'm just gaming. It said go. It said start broadcast. So I'm like, all right, I clicked it, and this was the time when Mixer had Hype Zone. And so as soon as I go, I don't know, it was like 2017. So I'm like, okay, about December 2017. So PUBG had just came out. So I went live on PUBG. Didn't know what it was. Didn't know what broadcast meant. As soon as I went kind of like in circle, I got the Hype Zone.
The Hype
like,
Zone, yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm like, and instead I had like 60 people in there. I'm like, okay, I got to keep going. So soon after that, I'll say about 3 months after that, just streaming from the Xbox, I'm like, all right, let me see how far I can get into this. So I had a laptop and I was Googling because Google is my best friend when it comes to streaming. I was like, what can I do to make my stream better? And the one option said, buy a capture card. So I immediately bought an Elgato HD60S.
That's the external version, right? Is that what
Yeah,
that is?
the external for the standard capture card, which has 1080p pass 60 frames pass through. So, started from there. Playing on a 55-inch TV, and out of my bedroom, no camera, just doing everything. And then slowly but surely, I kept upgrading my equipment, my gameplay, which I was able to then say, all right, I'm at this point in my streaming career. Do I want to stay limited to just console games, or do I want to expand into PC? And my choice was to expand into PC games. So what we did, like, honestly, I just quit. Started playing more PC games, and then eventually I got to a point where I was comfortable enough with mouse and keyboard that I made fully transition over.
Over from console to PC gaming.
Yes.
Let's go back to how you initially got started. You said Mixer. For those who don't know what that is, Mixer was pretty popular when it came out with the Hype Zone. So the Hype Zone was like the last 10 alive on PUBG. So it was just regular people playing on their Xbox. And then next thing you know, if you were included in these last 10 people left alive, you were automatically broadcasted to the Hype Zone. And anybody could watch you on a live stream. And then, if you win, bam, you got a little bit of clout there. So I think that's what he's saying here is like oh crap, I'm in the Hype Zone. And then he had all these people watching. He's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. I'm streaming, but I didn't really have an intention to stream. So that's what you're saying, right? You got the taste for it right there, right?
Right. And right there is like also when it comes to Hype Zone, I actually made some really good friends from Hype Zone, like because I would say one of my I made two friends like in there, lifelong. Even though they don't game anymore, we still keep up with one another, like Ethan and Mike. So I met it's like first, let's say like my fourth Hype Zone. Ethan came in. His gamer tag was the Demon Angel. So he was like, "Yo, yeah, you're pretty good at this game. We should play sometime." I'm like, "Hell yeah, just add me up." And he added me. A week later, maybe a week and a half later, I got a Hype Zone again. Bam. Killer Elite 187. Yo, man, what's good? Like, you want to play some? Hell yeah, I
Right.
want to play some. Like, I don't, me at the time I was still in the military. I can't play all day, every day. I'm working at a facility. Cannot say the location, anything, because that's top secret.
I always say, don't
So,
say anything you wouldn't say in court or church. That's how I put it.
hey man, you know what? Hey, I did my team here. So what they gonna do? Take my pension away?
These days, you never know.
They've got to probably argue thinking the time there now. But so I was working 12 to 14 hours a day. So when I came home, I would spend time with my kid first,
Yep.
because at the time I was married. So I would spend time with them, and then for like an hour to an hour and a half, I would game, and I was starting to really start. As soon as I started PUBG up, I would hit and start broadcast, and that's how I made those friends. But Mixer was, I'm pretty sure Mixer was the start for a lot of people's careers, because a lot of console gamers and PC gamers, because Mixer was a fresh new face when it comes to the entertainment field, because you already had Twitch, which is formerly known as Justin TV, and you had YouTube, which has been around since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So Mixer was a refresher, was able to gain, especially for the younger generation. Mixer was easily to attain, because everybody had almost everybody had an Xbox. Xbox is owned by Microsoft. Mixer was owned by Microsoft. So bam, easy to attain.
Have you heard? I've heard rumors. Now you might have heard the same thing. I've heard rumors that they're actually thinking about bringing it back.
No, I have not heard anything.
You haven't heard that? I have.
No, like I have some contacts at Microsoft. I can try to bug about,
Mm-hmm.
but
well, that'd be pretty interesting if they did. I mean, it was a good thing. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. I mean,
honestly, Mixer, it wasn't the money that they were losing out on Mixer. It was actually they were losing. They pretty much had nobody controlling their partners. Like, one partner called a SA charge. I can't say, some platforms you can't say the
right
stuff. So one of their partners called an SA charge, and people was pretty much just no control. So Mixer shut down. Well, Microsoft shut down Mixer for that reason.
So there was no oversight. They weren't going to spend any money on any oversight, things like that. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to have to babysit it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much, Mixer was giving them maybe 1% of their revenue.
Okay.
So from a business standpoint, if you're not really making much money off of it,
I get it.
Sometimes you got to trim the fat.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what goes on. I mean, again, that's just a rumor. Who knows how that's going to go, if it's going to go, whatnot, have you. So you started pretty much your career kind of like how I did, streaming PUBG. And over the years, let's get into being a PUBG streamer, like a full-time PUBG streamer. You did that for many years, right? So what, for you, would you say are the ups? What are the ups for being at the time of its peak? I guess we could say peak, but we could probably say on its peak and then its slow decline. Like, what are the most memorable moments you've had as a streamer when it comes to like peak viewers? Like, what kind of things has your stream been able to accomplish? What kind of hurdles have you faced in that? Like, what is there any experiences that you've had that stand out to you in regards to that?
So during my peak of streaming PUBG, it was like I had transitioned over to Facebook gaming. So Facebook gaming, everybody knows PUBG is still big in Middle East, foreign countries like India,
right?
The Middle East, and so at my peak for PUBG, at the peak, I was averaging maybe, I would say, 50 to 60 viewers at the time. I would get a lot of, I wasn't getting a lot of engagement because people weren't, they didn't speak the same language to me. They could see the gameplay, but they wouldn't really understand what I was saying. So it was the memorable moments is, finally, feeling like I actually was doing something, because for the longest time, it was just lows, lows, lows.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you started gaining that traction, started getting, consistent viewership, you're like, yes, you know what? Maybe all my hard work is starting to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the slow decline, I was still getting those views, but then it was starting dwindling to like 30 to 20. And then I stayed consistent around 10 to 15 viewers a stream. And I met some, I spoke with some larger, creators, and I was like, hey, what can I do to do this, to get more viewers? And their thoughts was, leave PUBG, man. PUBG is not gonna get you anywhere. It's dying.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stick around with it. So I stuck around with it up until pretty much this year. Like, I'm still streaming it, but it's very far and few between.
I mean, for me, I think anyone who knows me and has watched my stream and things like that, and this is just my opinion, and it might be shared by others who have been a hardcore streamer of this. Everybody knows that PUBG was such an amazing game when it first came out. It was something different. It actually gave me adrenaline and stuff like that. And no video game's ever done such a thing, and that's what got me hooked. And over the years, with any video game that you've ever played, is such a AAA title, you would hope that the studio would reinvest that money into the integrity and structural performance of the game. I feel like they just didn't get there. They were more concerned with cosmetics and things like that. That's how I felt about it. And it slowly just became unpopular. People started playing it less, things like that. There was many, many reasons for that, for their audience drop off and stuff. But for me, that's just me, though. It could be different for other people, but that was how I felt about it.
So I feel like a lot of the audience drop off was happening due to the fact that it was lack of new things.
Sure.
Especially like when you look at games like Call of Duty, they came out with Blackout, then they came out with Warzone. Two different ways to actually, Blackout at the time when Warzone came out.
I remember Blackout.
Be played.
Blackout, God, I remember that.
The second best battle royale that ever came out was Blackout, and I will full-heartedly admit that I didn't play it that often, but yes, Blackout was the second best battle royale game ever created. What PUBG problem is, like, it was just a lot of the issues that people could not fix. Like,
yes,
it was like there was a lack of a res. I get it. A lot of the hardcore PUBG gamers did not want a res system because it was one and done. You died, that was it. It was exciting. If you didn't win, if you lost your fight and you died, you had to start back over from scratch. Which is a fun aspect, but at the same time, if you want to keep people keep it enjoyable and keep it going, you have to have a way to keep people interested in it. Like the battle pass, it's like people started believing that PUBG just cared about only money, which it started feeling like that when we kept having consistent issues, and and we would tag the community managers, or some of the quote unquote partner managers at the time on Twitter, and like, hey, this and happened, and like, okay, we'll submit it. Although they submit it, people might developers, I cannot say anything negative about them, but there's possibility that feedback may not be implemented. It took them 5 years to get an actual res system. Well, 4 years, I'll say, technically, due to the CBA / also known as the comeback arena.
Right.
It took them 4 years to get a res system. So that is one thing, to make the game more fun, make it enjoyable, but do not take away the actual aspect of PUBG, the core, which is loot, land, loot, survive.
Yes, that's another thing I was going to say is I feel like now, and this is again my opinion, because I still play it every once in a while, but it's very rare. But I feel like the game is so far removed from what it used to be when it first came out. Yes. So it's just so different. And I understand that you have to change with the times and all that stuff to retain a player base and things like that. But I think at this point in PUBG's life cycle, I don't feel like it's ever going to get back to where it was in 2017. It's just not. And it's the way it is. You know what I mean? They're going to have their player base, their core player base, those diehard folks that have always played it from the get go. And I think it'll just be one of those games that are still going to be sticking around for years to come, and that's great. But as a nostalgic aspect, I feel like it's never going to be what it was when it first, popped like it did back then.
So in my opinion, it probably won't ever get back because the highest monthly average viewer it had was 3 million, and that was back in 2019.
Was it 2019?
No, 2017. My bad.
15, okay.
2017, the peak viewer for a month was 3 million concurrent players.
That's a lot.
But now we're averaging maybe a tenth of that,
right?
Which is 300,000. The thing is when we say it's averaging 300,000, that's just we can only go by what for Steam. But now we got consoles. You also got Epic, because now PUBG is available on Epic.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they announced that maybe like 6 months ago.
Well, okay. So saying that, you said you haven't been streaming it as much and things like that. So when you feel like shit, man, I'm in a down spot in my stream, like how you feel about it and stuff like that. How do you pick back up? How do you get that courage? How do you get back up on your feet again and be like, all right, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna always. I feel like for me, seeing as I'm a viewer for you and things like that, I watch your streams as much as I can. I always see that you're always changing your stream up, trying to stay fresh, clean, new with new ideas and things like that. Where do you get that drive? What keeps pushing you to keep trying to be better at doing what you do?
I know one thing is, if I don't enjoy my stream, how am I going to get somebody who is an outside viewer who do not know me so I can stream as well?
Right.
So what I do is I'll go in, I'll change the layout of it, the overlays, alerts. I will just try to keep things fresh and interesting. I don't like advertising a sub goal or a star goal or what any type of monetary goal unless it's absolutely necessary for me to be able to continue streaming. Because at the time, being a full-time content creator, your job is to try to get as many viewers, as many people to donate into the stream to be able to keep your livelihood. So now that I don't full-time now I'm not a creator and I don't worry about, I'm not focusing on making any income off of this. It's just keeping things fresh, like change up the overlays, change up, hell, even get rid of a green screen. Like I dropped the green screen completely and trying to just make it more, interactive, try to stay entertaining. Like I said, because if you don't enjoy it, how are you gonna get somebody else to enjoy it? Also, and one thing I will say is like trying to always be, communicative with your chat. Like
absolutely.
Because I've seen creators, I'll go in their chat. It might take them 10 minutes before they even see your comment. Like, and you're the only person in the chat.
That's way too long. They're gone by now. They're way gone.
Yeah. So especially for people who just want to start content creating, I would say, yes, if you don't have any viewers in there, but always stay monitoring your chat. Always, be talkative. If you're a shy person, I would not say be a content creator, because this type of thing. If you're a shy person, make VODs first.
Sure.
Make VODs. Like get yourself out there at least, and just like that'll get you to help you work up the courage to actually be able to do this.
Right. Because you're selling yourself more or less just a video game. Because I mean, people might want to watch. They can watch this video game anywhere, pretty much, if you think about it. But I feel like if you make it more special for them, more of a unique experience as an artist, if you will. I mean, I feel like it is an art. That's what draws people in. You can't be someone who's just like, you're facing the game and like what's the point? Some people are there to talk to you or ask you questions or tell you about their day, stuff like that, and they want to see the game. They also want to see you play the game, but they also want to talk to you at the same time.
Exactly, because it's like, so when I streamed on Facebook, like my thing was, I can put an actual face to the name. Like, because I'm not seeing a username. Hell, I could be like, hey, how you doing? Like, especially if I know you on a personal level, and I can just call you by your gamer tag.
Yeah.
People actually like that. Like, hey, how's the family? They're like, especially when if they're a regular viewer, and you're like, hey, Alex, hey, how are you doing? How's the family? Like, hey, how's work? I know you told me yesterday that you had like brand new promotion coming up that day. Did you get the job? Things like that. The way they'll be like, actually cares, even though because I care about my viewers. Like, I don't like. I would not. I would say my community, my viewers, because when my community is family to me. They kept me strong through thick and thin, through deep depressions, multiple game changes.
Oh yeah.
A freaking.
You went through a re-imaging. You changed your name, correct?
I rebranded completely. I ended up trying to make myself out to be more. No, try to get rid of a dark aspect. Like my original gamer tag, like as you said, was Dark Lord Santa.
Yeah.
Highly original, but at the same time, it made especially for companies, business partners, it made them hesitant because it could bring up some notoriety. Because it's not like it's like Dark Lord Santa, Dark Lord Satan.
Okay. I mean, it's understandable if you're trying to market yourself, and then you got to play the game, smile, wave, you just shut up and color, that kind of thing. That's just the way it is in the business. If you're trying to make it, you know what I mean? I get that. 100%. Let's go back to you touched on this just a little bit about Facebook gaming, and anybody who's a streamer who's watching this does know that Facebook has been having a lot of trouble with their streaming side when it comes to its support, many things. And a lot of us have transitioned over to Kick as an alternative for more freedom and more just basically less stress when it comes to being a content creator. So do you still stream on Facebook, right? Or have you completely gone over to Kick at this point?
So right now, I have not streamed on Facebook in probably about a month.
Okay,
last time I streamed on Facebook. Yeah, it was about a month ago. Like this was before I moved and my internet got more crappy. So Facebook, as you and I both have given a large portion of our streaming careers over on that site.
Yes.
Because I was on Facebook, I went to Facebook Gaming in 2018, and I left. I've been in there up until this year, so 5 years I spent on Facebook Gaming. I've seen many people come in 6 months, get partnered, then immediately turn a partnership in and go over to Twitch because they already got their following now. I've seen people, start up, quit, start up again, quit again. I've seen everything that could possibly happen on Facebook Gaming. And a lot of people used to talk crap about them, and I was like, you know what? It's just starting. Just give them a couple more years. Give them one more year. Okay, yeah, you got.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to hang on. I mean, I get it. I mean, we have to also take a step back and realize that it's a free service. It's been it's a free service just to stream. Basically, when it comes to the open broadcasting software and things like that, Facebook was a free platform to stream on. It had 3 billion users at the time when I think when Facebook Gaming came out. Don't quote me on that statistic, but that is like a huge audience opportunity for anybody who's just starting out. And I felt for me in the very beginning, it was a little bit easier to get viewers, to get people in chatting, things like that through Facebook. And I thought, well, wow, this is really great. This is a really awesome platform, things like that. And I think they had some business problems over the course of the last year with the metaverse and things like that, that they just kind of dropped off on it. And when it came to support and when it came to the workability of the site and things like that.
So I would say another thing is about that, because your points are correct. But the other side is Facebook Gaming, the height of Facebook Gaming happened during COVID.
Absolutely, 100%.
like people are able to stay home, watch a lot of
Yeah,
streams, so people are able to get bigger. A lot more creators was able to, start their careers out during COVID.
absolutely.
But then when the pandemic ended,
Yes,
quote unquote,
right.
um, people you have to go back to work. They're not able to watch streams anymore. They get home, they don't want to watch streams. They want to relax. They want to go, game themselves. And a lot of creators, you know, we're seeing the after effects of it, myself included.
Yeah,
Like I said, dropping down from CC 60 CCV to 10 to 15. That is a huge chunk of viewers. You know, I've seen people like hell. Like, let's see, I grew. Let's say I was like 1,500 followers to 3,000 followers during COVID. Like, well,
sure.
not the whole time during COVID, but like a 6 month period of COVID.
Yes,
That's
I
that's
mean, it's enough to make anybody discouraged at the end of the day. I get that. And then that's what I try to tell, yeah, even new streamers, even not even a month ago. There's another friend of mine that started streaming and stuff like that. He's got all his equipment, he spent thousands of dollars on all his stuff. And he came to me, he's like, man, I don't know. How did you guys get viewers like you do? How did you do so well with things? How are you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I mean, you have to understand, man. I quoted the pandemic that we had, that a lot of people were home. No one's going outside. People have more money than they know what to do with, things like that. And
Mhm.
it just gave you more viewership because people were on social media more and things like that. Now, like Santa has said, the pandemic's over. Weather's nice. People are out. People are working. They want to do what they want to do, and stuff like that. With the freedoms that they now have. So yeah, it's going to be harder for anybody who's trying to break out in the industry right now. More harder probably now than it ever has been. So it's like either more now, harder now than it is, post pandemic than it was pre pandemic. If you want to get me there, but it's just not easy. And if that's something that's going to discourage you, then I feel like you're not in it to win it. I mean, you got to really be dedicated to this kind of thing. If you're trying to be any kind of moderately successful in the streaming industry, I feel like you have to have some time to devote to it. I understand there's people out there that have children, full-time jobs, things like that. Hell, you got a child that used
Yep.
to hang around your knees and your legs and
No,
drive you
I
crazy
said,
when you stream and stuff like
I
that.
said, I sent him downstairs so I could do this.
See, I mean, I have a friend of mine. He just started streaming another one. He just started streaming. He tells me all the time, he's like, man, I got a kid, and he's always like, this and that. He's in the background, all that stuff. I'm like, man, I know plenty of guys who have streamed that have children. I mean, it's just one of those things. You might get 10 guys that roll up in there that are dads that go, I get exactly what this man is going through,
So I'm not gonna lie, especially because I was a content creator when my son was born. In 2018. So back then, that's when I had a camera. Like I had a very crappy camera. So and literally this I was playing like this, rocking him while playing PUBG.
I've ever seen a couple
Trying to
videos. I remember.
Yeah, trying to get a dub.
Yeah,
I died a lot because of it, but at the same time,
you
hey,
still
my
did it.
son, hey, I still did it. Like I was able to, do my job as a father while also being able to provide content. And now that he is older in age, he can actually torture me on stream for the enjoyment of my viewers in my
Right.
community.
Sure.
Because because everybody he'll be like, yeah, like, especially since I play mouse and keyboard now, he'll take my mouse arm and just he'll just swing it around while I'm trying to shoot somebody and I die. I'm like, damn it, JJ.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying there, but there's people out there that enjoy seeing things like that because they have kids. They get it and they
Yep.
understand what it's like. So, they'll be able to relate to that. So I try to tell him, don't let that discourage you. I mean, if this is something you really want to do or get into, then that's just part of it, and it could probably be correlates with when I used to know someone who sold a lot of cars. He told me there's an ass for every seat, man. Which when I put that into streaming, I say there's a viewer for every streamer. Whether it be your theme is okay, I sit there and drive a truck all day long, or you play shooters, or you're a father that has a little kid running around driving you crazy while you're trying to stream. Whatever it is, there's a possibility that somebody out there would watch you. So you have to build on that, make it a theme, make it your own. It might be There was a PUBG Dads for a long time. Do you remember that?
Yes, I'm technically still part of that group. The
I
group
remember that.
has died down a lot
Yeah.
because a lot of people have decided to go away from PUBG.
Yeah.
Or they switch over to PC, and there's not a lot of PC gamers in that group. But I will say that if you're wanting to get started in content creating, rule number one, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to start out.
Less is more.
Yeah, less is more.
Take it from me. Take it from me.
Like, hell, I spent maybe initially started streaming. I spent maybe $100, and I was just on the capture card because I had everything else. Used the TV, and I used the TV and Xbox and the capture card on my laptop. That was it.
And that's good.
And rule number two: do not come in looking for money.
Absolutely.
Don't look at. All right, and I still have to tell creators. They're like, I want to be big as y'all so I can make a lot of money. Like, first off, that you're coming in for the wrong reason.
Absolutely.
I'm like, if you think that just because I tell I send a regular review to your stream, you think my viewers just want to give you money? No. Like, hell, you know what? First things first, build a community. You know what? Just hang out, enjoy what you do, like it, love it. If you don't like it and you don't love it, don't do it. You know what? Don't do anything half-assed. Enjoy the content you create, because if you're not enjoying it, somebody else is not going to enjoy it either.
That's right.
Like, and the first thing, and lastly, have fun with it. This is your time. This is your time. You're giving up to do this. Time is something that we as humans can never get back. So enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, take a break, figure out what you want to do, find your niche. And if you're still thinking about doing it, get back at it. And if you don't enjoy it the second time, hey, I would say cut ties and find something else to do with your time.
That was another thing that was beneficial to streamers that were going to continue to stream after the pandemic, because there was a lot of equipment out there for sale for cheap. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of my stuff off of eBay because of that. I mean, there was a lot of streamers that found out that when the pandemic ended, their stuff kind of like wasn't doing as well and things like that. And they got discouraged enough to the point where they're like, I'm done with this. So, this isn't really what I want to do, blah, blah anymore, because I'm not, I'm not making the money I was, or whatever the case may be. And to touch on what he said, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts and things like that. If you're trying to stream to make money, that is just the wrong attitude, 100% wrong attitude. It's just not going to get you far. It's not the way to go, because it's like any other kind of, it's freelance work, if you ask me, in a sense. I mean, you're doing so much and expecting such a payback on it. It's not going to happen like that. You can't go in looking for money. For me, anytime I get a donation or a gifted sub or something like that, that's just a bonus, and it's really appreciative, like 100% towards someone who is that kind, and people have big hearts and things like that. Or we're running a giveaway, or we're doing some kind of fundraising event for a charity or whatever it is. That's well and good. But if you're going in thinking you're going to be showered in cash and all this other shit, then it's just a bad way to go, and you're not going to get very far. And you're going to get discouraged very fast when you find out that ain't the fucking case. That's just the way it is.
Hell, if I was making if I was making thousands of dollars in cash, I wouldn't be going to school to be a doctor. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't be operating heavy equipment in real life. I'd be doing it on the fucking video game, So I get it.
Amen.
100%. So let's go into a little bit more about yourself. You are former military, correct?
Yes.
Are you still military at this point? Are you reserve? You're out? Okay.
No, I am completely out of the service. I completed my contract, got out in 2020.
What branch were you in?
I was in the Army. I was in the Army for 10 years.
10 years in the Army. Okay.
My number one thing is always, trying to better yourself, whether it be professionally, educationally, mentally, etc. Like, trying to do everything in a better capacity than what you did before. It's like in the military, we call that stewarding. So I always try to steward. Like, with so now I'm in college. I am pre-medical. I have 2 years left of undergrad, starting in August. I'll be on my third year. Then after that, I am applying to be a doctor of osteopathic medicine here where I live at. I'm not gonna dox myself just yet.
That's fine. What part of what exactly part of the field is that for medical? What is it?
So osteopathic medicine is more holistic medicine. It's more whole body treatment rather than just preventative medicine. Like, so what I could, you'll come to me. I could, check out your whole body, make sure that everything's, working as it should. While, an MD more like, all right, so like you're sick, you go to an MD, they'll be like, all right, here's the medication. Come, if it doesn't get better, come back and see me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to do my best to make sure that everything, that you're 100% better at that one time, not just
treated.
Simulator.
Not treated. Yeah. Okay, understand. And when you were in the military, what was your position in the military? What'd you leave out at? I know you're SSG. That probably stands for Staff Sergeant. That's what I'm gonna guess right there, right?
So yes, SSG does stand for Staff Sergeant, but I got out as a sergeant. I was a sergeant promotable. Went to advanced leader course, just waiting on points. I was having some issues with my back, so I really knew that I was, my time for the military was not long. But I did, I got out as a sergeant. But I wasn't medical. I was actually communications. My job title was a 20+ year satellite communications systems operator maintainer. But my job title at the last site was senior satellite communications operator.
And did you stay stateside throughout your entire career?
No, I spent 1 year in the Middle East, but I also did a lot of traveling outside of that as well. Like Germany, Spain, Turkey, the Czech Republic, the Netherlands.
What part of Germany were you in?
I was over at Ramstein.
I was just there this year. Beautiful country, man.
Yeah,
it is.
I love Germany.
Germany is so beautiful.
If I can go back, especially now that I have my kid full time, it's very hard for me to just travel like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, nobody paid attention that my bottle opener is on my keys.
How long were you in Ramstein for?
I was in Ramstein for about a week.
A week? Did you get to see any sights?
Not really. Thing is, I plan on going back. Maybe I may go back next summer when my kid goes to his mom's.
If you do get a chance, check out K-Town. I had a great time there. A lot of money spent.
Yeah,
a lot of memories.
You talking about Kaiserslautern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and also, don't go to South Korea if you want to.
I got you. It was a beautiful country. I was surprised at how clean it was and how just how nice everyone was and things like that. And I got back home and I was in, I'm in the asshole of Florida and I'm just like, oh, this sucks. It's like just coming back from this amazing food, this culture, because Ramstein was founded in like the 1400s or whatever. So it's incredibly historical. The architecture is really awesome and crazy. There's so much rich history there. And then, you kind of come back to where you're from and stuff like that. But, it's whatever. You see things a little bit different.
That's the same way I felt about the Czech Republic and the Netherlands. Because, the Dutch, the East India Trade Company, that's actually really mainly Dutch. And, it's literally very historic. If spending, especially you going to these European countries that have been around since the fucking say 12, 1300s,
right.
1400s. Yeah, seeing these, you're like, wow, I'm just pretty much a small speck.
Absolutely, it makes you feel very insignificant. 100%. And so, I mean, that's very sobering. I mean, it's like, holy shit. But so you were in the military, did your duty. Which we do thank you for that. Appreciate your service.
Thank you, sir.
And now you're going, you're in medical school, going for the field that you had mentioned before. And yes. I can't pronounce it. If you try to get me to pronounce it.
Say DO. Hey, we'll say a DO.
A DO?
Yeah.
A DO?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. So D-O.
Dio. Okay, that's way more easier. Dio. So he's going to be Dio. And he's still content creating. Do you have any plans for your stream when it comes to fully staying on Kick? Are you gonna keep Facebook on the back burner? Are you gonna do anything differently? Are you excited about any new games coming up? Things like that.
So right now, my plan is just to stay on Kick for the time being. I might dabble into other streaming platforms, not Twitch or Facebook. You know what? More, I might do Rumble. I might do, go back to YouTube because I spent a little bit of time on YouTube as well. But yeah, pretty much Kick is the plan for now.
Yeah.
The game right now, I'm actually hooked on is Diablo 4. Like I've been playing.
Everyone's playing that right now. Yeah.
Oh my god! I just beat the campaign. Now I'm going in and beat all the dungeons. So.
You should stream it if it's something that you enjoy that much. You should stream
it. Yes and no. I mean, you know how I honestly, I have more fun gaming off stream than I do on stream.
I get it. I get that.
It's not like it's really not anything negative about streaming and playing this game, but I just am more relaxed.
Sure, absolutely.
And I just want to stay relaxed.
I try to tell people that too. It's like, I don't think this is an actual great comparison, but it's like, it's almost like, say, a movie star. You ask these guys these questions, they'll tell you, I don't watch my own movies. I don't watch my own TV shows. I don't, they don't do that. A majority of actors don't watch their own shit. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? Now, it's not because they don't want to be looked at as they're full of themselves or whatever it is. But I feel like for me, if I knew the ins and outs of the movie or TV industry, exactly how everything was done, I feel like you would lose a lot of that magic. I feel like you would lose a lot of that imagination, things like that. You would, I don't know if cynicism is the right word for it, but you would kind of know exactly what's going on. You'd lose that, that part of your mind where, you can get lost in it. And I feel like that's the same thing when it comes to streaming. Now, and playing video games offline. When you're playing video games online, you got an audience on you generally, depending on how good you are as a streamer, how established you are and things like that. When you're not online streaming a video game, it's more about you than anything else at that point. You're not trying to perform for somebody. You're just really in it. You're actually there for you. So there's two sides to that coin. And that's just how I look at it, I guess, for me, if that makes any sense.
No, you're 100% correct. Like I said, I can just sit right here and not have to focus on the whole aspect. And I can just sit right there out, especially as people who are full-time content creators. They're having to worry about the game. They're having to worry about their equipment. They're having to worry about the audience. They have to try to, continue to make their income. With me, especially when but if I just game offline, online but not streaming, I can just sit right here and just game, and I can just get lost in myself. I don't have to, communicate with anybody. If I want to, I can stop in the middle of it. I can play for 30 minutes and just be, do whatever I want to do, and you come at that same moment in time that I was at. It's just it also depends on how well your community actually supports every game that you play, which is very, very, very hard.
It can be difficult, yeah. You'll get those people that will stick with you no matter what, and then you'll get those folks that just don't like the game that you're playing, even though they've been with you from the beginning, and that's just how it is. I mean, they might not be gone forever. They might come back, like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? And then they'll fucking take off. That's just the way it is. That's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, and usually at this point in the episode, I like to give the guests the floor. Like if they want to say anything to anybody who's watching or listening to this podcast, any kind of words of wisdom that you might have that you haven't said yet, or any kind of advice, because you've been streaming for a long time, and so you do have some experience under your belt. You could definitely tell us some stuff. So go ahead.
All right. You don't have to be the best at any video game to actually be a creator and to be a successful creator. There are plenty of creators who are quote unquote suck, trash, all the above. But as long as you're entertaining,
there's your phone.
and you can,
there you go.
Hey, as long as you're entertaining, and give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're fine, buddy.
As we said earlier, this is what he does.
100%.
So, Jay, please don't knock everything over. All right. So you don't have to be the best to be a creator. As long as you're entertaining and you can captivate your audience into the same situations that you do.
Right.
That's all it is. Thank you. Okay, we'll play. Thank you, buddy.
He was gone. He was gone.
Yeah. Hey, enjoy what you do. Have fun. Don't focus on trying to be the absolute best, because 99% of the time, I know people who are some of the absolute best at a video game, but don't have a large audience.
Yeah.
I know people who are absolutely trash at the video game, but they can captivate the audience, and it just drives them wild, and it. Wholesome moment for the chat.
Absolutely. There you go.
All right. So I know some people who are, not that great at video games, but they can captivate the audience. And that's what's important, just captivating. Just be entertaining. You don't have to be the best. Don't focus on being the best unless you yourself are trying to have that goal of being the best. Don't try to be the best and think that's going to make people want to watch you, because it's not.
Yep. I mean,
be interactive.
Mm-hmm. He's right about that, guys. Because I mean, if you're looking for like the most badass like stream content and like being like great at any game that you're streaming, I wouldn't be a streamer. I would not be a streamer 100%. I am terrible at every game that I play. I'm not a AAA player in any kind of competitive PvP gaming. And if that was what makes you an amazing streamer, then that's not me. I'm just gonna put that out there right now.
Let's see. And I'm a variety streamer now. Like, I was streaming PUBG, I was streaming Overwatch. Hell, I'm not even streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels, because I like different things. Like,
yeah, it's good to see.
People think that, especially since my content originally was 100% PUBG,
right,
that I have to play only PUBG. But I enjoy so many things. Like, hell, I used to play JRPGs. I used to play, I can even play poker.
Sure.
Like,
that's what I like to see. I like to see that. I like to see streamers play other video games. That makes me happier more than anything else, because I see people who are just still trying to make it on dying games. Like, it's almost like going back 20 years to your hometown, and you still got the guys trying to make it in a rock band. They got gray hair. Man, we're still trying to make it. You know what I mean? I just feel like, hang it up, man. Do something that you enjoy. So. But yeah, man, I completely understand what you're saying. This has been a really great interview. The time flew by like that, and I feel like we covered a lot of things. So where can people find SSG Santa online?
All right.
Drop all your links.
All right. Mainstream is at kick.com/SSG Santa. On my fan page, facebook.com/TheDarkLordSanta, because that won't let me change.
Okay.
Hell, on my Facebook page, there's my Discord link. There's a lot of things on there you can find, like, hell, even my link tree, which I'll end up sending to Mr. StreamerGenics, the way he can actually, if he needs to post that as well.
That'd be great. That'd be fun. 100%.
Hell, even on OnlyFans.
You're on YouTube as well, correct?
Yeah, I'm also on YouTube. I am definitely on YouTube. Like, I post, like, my YouTube content has been lacking, and like I said, I'm a busy person. I just ended up moving, so I'm trying to get my head out of my third point of contact.
I got you, man. So once you finally get, settled and all that stuff, and you'll get more of a schedule going. We're on YouTube. What's that again? Is it youtube.com/?
at SSG Santa.
At SSG Santa. Okay. We'll make sure
Yep.
we put all the links in the description of the video. We'll put them on the video also. And I want to say thanks for being on the show. It was a great time. If anyone who doesn't know that, Santa and I used to host Friday Night Customs on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds once a week with Bearded Leo. And man, let me tell you, man, it was some of the greatest times I've ever had. I'm playing PUBG. You want to talk about the highs and the lows? You experience the highs and lows in like a 3-hour period. You want to talk about?
Hell, you just saying not like a 15-minute period, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely. So, I mean, it was good times, man. It was some of the best relationships I've forged on gaming and things like that, and I do miss it. But at the same time, I feel like people have grown since then, and they do what they do now, like how you are. And I think you're an amazing streamer, great person. And I like what you do. That's why I got you on the show. And I'm glad that we were able to talk about the things that we did and share your insights in the streaming world and just, so people can see what it's like for SSG Santa. So I want to say thank you for being on the program, bud.
Yeah, brother. I definitely appreciate you. And like I said, thank you for having me on here. It is absolutely a blessing and an honor.
Thank you, buddy. All right, we'll catch you next time, guys. StreamerGenics will hopefully have Lost God on the program.